Welcome to episode 141 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
I'm Tina.
Just Tina?
I'm just Tina.
How dare you, Tina? You dropped the ball. No, I'm kidding. There's no one better than Tina.
I wasn't prepared.
Well, you said you were just going to go with it. You were going to vibe it out. And you vibed out Tina.
Are going through a marital spat at the moment. And I am here as I know everything there is to know about relationships and how they don't work. And so I'm here as an expert to help them through this.
Should I go back to the tried and true Tina Be Awesome?
Well, Tina Be Awesome doesn't have the T, so wouldn't it be Tina T Awesome now?
Yeah, but that doesn't make as much sense.
It doesn't need to make sense.
That doesn't sound as good.
It just needs to be what's true by the law.
Okay, so every week, Stevie Wildcard, Tina Be Awesome / Genzina / Tina and I get together and we do our best to take all of the various life issues that life throws our way, and we get them to tattoo things on their bodies. Steven, I don't care about anything we have to talk about except for the fact that Tina got a tattoo this week, and that's mostly she's here because, she's your wonderful wife. She's one of my best friends in the whole world, and we love her. But also, Tina, I can't believe you got a tattoo this week, and what you got a tattoo of is so incredible.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it.
What did you get a tattoo of, sweetheart?
I got barreled on my leg.
Tina got a tattoo of barreled of the thing that Steven drew that my brain came up with. It's crazy. This is a reality that we're living in right now.
We're on somebody's flesh. It's basically like the first key work on somebody's arm, it's basically what it is.
It's incredible. It's so cool. Tina showed me that and I was like, oh, I can't wait to show Steven. Wait, this is your wife.
She's gonna show him in the flesh.
I was like, he's gonna definitely see her leg. Oh, but I was so excited. I was just like, oh my god. When Tina, when you told me that, I was just like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened to all of us at once together. I was like,
This is the best part of the triad relationship that we have going on.
It was so cool. So for those of you who don't know, one of the characters in our book is a giant demonic pink unicorn teddy bear named Berold, who is brought to life from this, supernatural force, and he's one of the big bads, or one of the big, main characters of our book. Also, probably one of the coolest things that Steven and I have ever worked on together, right? And so
it's taken off. People love it.
Yeah, and I can't wait. In the next issue, he's gonna appear. No spoilers, but he's gonna start becoming more and more of a known character, thankfully. But Tina is way ahead of the curve and now has barreled on her flesh. So
I wanted to beat your fans to the punch.
Yeah,
I'm the number one fan.
You really are. I feel like you did this. You nailed it. And also, Steven, I have some bad news. I don't want to work on Deathless anymore is the thing. I don't want to do it. I decided we're not going to make
Where's the cheese grater?
We'll reimburse the Kickstarter. We'll make sure that we have a burning of Berold, we never mention him again.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have another idea, but instead of a bear, it's a beaver, Steven. It's a beaver. It's a unicorn pink teddy beaver, and that's my thing. It's just so Tina, here's the thing. All you have to do is get that tail on there, that sweet beaver tail.
We need a sweet beaver tail.
Stupid poopy scaredy beaver.
So no, of course. So it's amazing though. When I saw that, it blew my mind. I've been having just a crappy couple of weeks, just with sicknesses. Everything else in life has been
well, allergies. Once again, I know we always complain about allergies, but dude, holy crap today! it was. Yeah, I could not breathe outside, and I think it was the grass pollen. But yeah. Oh my god!
Oh no, but it's. I feel like Atlas and I were kind of hit back to back with sicknesses, and it sucked. It was one of those things where I was it was leapfrogging. It's he was starting to feel better, and then I got sick from him, and then right as I was starting to feel better, he started getting sick again, and I was like, how is this happening?
You guys are just mutating the same virus back and forth.
Oh, it was the worst. Whatever we're creating is.
You're playing the worst game of you ever.
Dude, it's been a nightmare, dude. And recently he had a fever, and I had to keep him at home from school, which means I had to miss work, and it was just which is always it's always like that weird like bittersweet situation, because I'm like, oh, I don't have to go to work, so I don't have to deal with that stress and all that trouble, but I'm not making money. I'm also telling my work I can't work, which makes you feel like less dependable or what, and all that. And I'm just like, I don't want that, and I don't want them to, and I never want anyone to think that I'm like lying or doing other things. I think that's always the stress that people have when they don't suck. Like, people who aren't monsters always fear that people are going to make them into monsters,
because all the monsters done monstered it up for so long that now everyone's a monster.
Yep, and that's how it feels. So I'm just like, ah. So anyway, I had cough work, and so it's just been like a kind of a crappy couple of weeks, like with that stuff. And then I get like a text from Tina, like, "Hey, I'm gonna put this like creature on my leg," and I was like, "This is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. I'm 100% healed. All the mana, just like, what? This is amazing."
So like when that happened though, I just was randomly texting her while I was at work, and then like I had gone and done a job, and I come back to my phone to like read my text. And I see a picture from Beryl sent from my phone to her on my phone. And I'm like, yo, babe, I don't remember sending this. I don't know what the hell's going on. And I didn't even send this to anybody. I don't know why my phone would just send you a picture of Beryl. And this thing over here just straight gaslit me. Goes, oh, I don't know. That's weird. That's some weird stuff that's happening.
Whatever. It's weird, Your Honor.
Well, because I was like, I'm always so terrified to like go into his iPad, because I'm like, I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to delete everything and ruin everyone's life.
And you could too, because Procreate does not back to the cloud.
So it's always,
I have to manually back it on Drive.
I'm always like very fearful. So I was like on his iPad, and I found a Beryl and I sent it to myself, and then I went to his text messages on his iPad and deleted it. And I'm like, wait a second, he can probably see that from his phone. That sucks. So then I started airdropping them to myself.
Which I didn't see those, but I did see that. Basically, when you got the tattoo.
And that was like over a month ago, like 2 months ago. And then I had messaged Anthony and asked him to send me pictures of Beryl also. And then I just gave them all to my tattoo artist.
Nice.
The funny thing about Beryl is he's basically one of our most popular characters in the comic, but he's had literally no screen time really. It's only been like a page.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have quite a debut. So
yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. So for those of you who are new to our show, every week we talk about, the comic books that we're trying to make and the things that got in the way and the various issues. And Steven, the other thing that we do is we do our best to create a community, and we call it a cult or a colony. It's, we're trying to build a colony where, that's
not a cult.
Not a cult. It's hashtag trademark, not a cult. But we're trying our best to like, we want to be open and, like communicate with people, give the people what they want, answer any questions that people have for us as we're, creating this world. Because I mean, you've all seen how colonies turn out, right? I mean, it's like, it starts off strong and people are like, oh, we just want to love each other and everyone wants to be good. And we want to just like share the wealth and just live as love. And let's do this in unity. And then also we need these guns, and then also kill those people. And poison is important. And it just gets weird, And I want to make sure we don't snowball. I want to start, like, if we're going to go crazy, we want them to know right away. Like, we want to be as transparent as possible and give them all the information. So in order to do that and stay transparent, we've offered people the opportunity to ask us anything, Steven. So
it's questions not for the colony. This theme song's been the same one since episode 1. Questions from the colony. Bam. Questions from the colony.
So question first from JD Bergstrom. JD Bergstrom asks, what number am I thinking of? Tina, you're our number expert in the colony. What number is JD thinking of?
33.
Okay, I also was going to say 33. So it's, yeah. Right, Steven? I mean, did you feel 33?
With JD, I'm feeling for some reason 27.
You're out of the colony, Steven. You don't second guess Tina. She's the number expert, has been since day one. We've gone over this. Like, God, man, she's the numbers person. What are you doing? I can't believe you're going to step on her toes like that. Okay.
The audacity.
Just the nerve, the noive. So the Tremors saga on
the
Twitter.
Noive.
The Tremors saga asks, why do you think Tremors has created such a long-lasting legacy, and how would you continue the story if given the reins? Which is interesting, but it's
very simple to me.
Let's hear it.
All Tremors are sharks in sand. Okay,
got it.
Yeah, they're sand sharks. I mean, like, We fear great beasts with gaping mouths that swim at us. These things just swim through the dirt and the sand, and they eat people just like Jaws would. We love Jaws. We love Tremors.
I agree. Like I think that like, and I think that's why the Burt Gummer character was he stayed as long as longer than anyone else throughout the series. He was the quint of the series. It was just like the most popular, like the toughest, the one who gets to know all the characters. That being said, Steven, they're not gonna like my response to this. Because my response to this, it says, how would you continue the story if given the reins? Tremors is the one property that I can think of that I would completely reboot and I think would work perfectly. Like, I think it's just one of those stories that's like, you don't need any of the main character, like the original characters. You don't need any of the original actors. The plot itself, it is, like you said, it's a land shark story, and it can work no matter who's there. And I think the fun of it is in the discovery, just like with superheroes, where it's like a lot of the fun of it is them learning their powers. A lot of the fun of Tremors is having characters who don't know what the hell they're dealing with, having to deal with it. Like if you took the three of us and put us in a random desert, and now we have these land sharks that we have to deal with, we have to learn the rules together. We have to learn the rules together. No, again. Me too. But we have to learn the rules together. We have to like figure out how to survive. We have to find their weaknesses and do all of that. When you introduce a character who suddenly knows all of these things and is just like this wise old person with all of the information, it's not as much fun. Like the discovery isn't there. And then like, yeah, you can evolve that character, but it gets boring over time. That's why people don't like seeing this once superheroes reach a certain level and it's like, okay, now it's just two people punching planets back and forth. It gets boring. It's more fun when it's tangible and the discovery is there and you're evolving. Once you hit that like crazy peak, people are it's like you lose people in the fatigue of that evolution, so it's for me, it's like you can bring Burt back if you want, but like I'd want him to come back in a full reboot and just be like, look, let's just recreate this idea. So
and the world will now know him as New Burt,
New Burt. Hey, is it okay if you guys just call me Burt? Excuse me. I hit Burt too. But like, I know, like a spoiler alert for Tremors, later on in the series, Burt dies eventually in like Tremors 7 or something. So it's like a lot of people want to hear like, okay, how could you bring Burt back? There's not a reasonable way to do that. Like then you're talking about like jumping the shark, like jumping the land shark, no matter what it is. Like it's going to be like a multiverse. It's going to be cloning. It's going to be a time machine situation or time travel of some sort. And it's
just like, too convoluted at that point. Too much.
It is. But I think in order to actually bring him back based on like how they got rid of him, it would be too much. And I don't think it would work. And I think that people would get upset no matter what, just
reboot. There's plenty of badass actors around nowadays. Just recast, start over, start from scratch. Let Burt learn how to be Burt again.
Also, like, it's tricky because like in a world of Tremors, once we found out about graboids, the whole world would know about them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like once someone discovers a living dinosaur, we're going to be like, oh, look, there are living dinosaurs in the world. Why have we never seen these anywhere else? Like, or where else have we seen these? What else is going, other people have to know about these. Why have they never been talked about in any like culture throughout history? Like it's a little weird anyway.
They should pull like a old fashioned Tremor, like where you see like the history of Tremors. They should do a Tremors movie during like the freaking medieval era.
I think they did the Old West.
Oh, they did do the Wild West.
Yeah, they did the Wild West. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that like what I would do, if you gave me like the Tremors property, I would make an anthology of like these things where you find out that it's like a like cicada thing, like a Jeepers Creepers-esque, like they come out every so many years. Like these worms are birthed, like these creatures are birthed and they're like, wait, but what comes next? And then you start asking like, wait, what happens if they feed? What happens if they do this? So then you start asking all those questions. We don't know those things, but what we do get is like a fun, like anthology of different people, like discovering them and dealing with them in different situations, cause like we live in like kind of like suburban Florida, it's just like, how cool would it be? We never seen anything like that. Like if it was like in the streets, like destroying the the pavement and doing that, and we're in our homes trying to figure out how to deal with this. That would be crazy, but it's always in the desert. It's always in these certain places. I think it would be fun to see like the first night when they pop out, different places where they exist and how people deal with it in their whatever situation.
Absolutely.
I would die immediately.
Yeah, most people would. I probably would too. I mean, I want to pretend I wouldn't, but they're gonna eat me. Come on.
It's a land shark, man.
Fowler asks, if you were to remake Escape from New York today, who would you cast as Snake Plissken? My first answer is Kurt Russell's son is who I would get. But
he does look just like him. It's pretty nuts. Well, with modern technology, Fowler, we can just AI youth down Kurt Russell.
Fowler, I'm gonna do the same thing that I just did with that, except for the opposite. Okay, I'm gonna opposite it. Instead of rebooting, I would not reboot Escape from New York. What I would do instead was say Escape from Earth. I would bounce it up to the inevitable next step of those movies where it's like Escape from New York, Escape from LA. The world is on fire. It's a wasteland. Snake set off this EMP, so there's no longer technology and stuff, and people are like falling into disarray. Escape from Earth, he's gonna leave. You know, like that's what's gonna happen. Like he's gonna have to get to the moon for some reason, right? And it's just gonna be Kurt Russell now being like his sexy silver fox, like his badass Kurt Russell.
Yeah, his last hurrah, like one more badass, you know.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And like I wouldn't pass the torch or whatever. I wouldn't be like, oh, how do we find a new younger or whatever Snake? Like no Snake Plissken, like secondary, like no new generation. If anything, he is bringing people to a new world so they no longer have to be Snake Plissken. That's like that, like, because that's what a real hero does, right? Like that's what parenting is. Like at some point you're like, I'm gonna parent my kids so they no longer need a parent. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, I'm gonna be a hero and then you always need me. I'm good at this. No, like that's like, that's dependency.
That's what bad parents do.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like that's what I would do. Steven, who would you cast though? Like if we were going to answer this properly.
So if I'm going to answer this properly, I don't know why it's ringing in my head, but I feel like he could actually do it. And he's, you know, Kurt Russell has that little bit of camp to him too. Dude, I'm leaning towards Channing Tatum.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, that would be hilarious. I could see that.
I mean, like he's got the jawline, he's got the strong features.
Yeah,
John Cena would be pretty fun too.
Okay, actually. I mean, I was literally, if you watch this tape back, you could see my thought going, "What's his name? Oh yeah, John Cena." And I was literally going to be like, why does Channing Tatum look exactly like John Cena? Who, like if he never wrestled?
Yeah, it's just like they don't. But for some reason they're the same. It's the same
so
person.
Weird. Yeah, it's so bizarre. I see that though.
Why
Tina, who would you cast as Kurt Russell in a thing?
What's the guy's name that plays Thanos?
Oh, Josh Brolin?
Yeah, Josh.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Josh Brolin's actually a really good suggestion.
That's a good one too. Like he's one of those cases where it's like he's older, but he still looks good. He's clearly capable. You know, yeah, I can see that. He's pretty awesome.
And you've seen him take on the persona of, you know, Tommy Lee Jones. So
he was Cable, right?
He was Cable, but
and that's like what made me think of.
But he's also Agent K, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
He did such. I mean, he was young Tommy Jones as far as I was concerned. He did such a great job. So
and he's very handsome.
Get her, Steven. No, I'm kidding. That's okay. So
I already took his head off in that one movie. So
So okay, I'm gonna ask Tina this question. This is from Lost Between Worlds. Our good friend Edwin. I'm gonna ask Tina this question.
I love Edwin.
Edwin
and Steph.
Yes, and man, his freaking baby is so cute, by the way.
Oh my god, Melina, yeah, she's adorable.
So Tina, it says if given the chance to turn one of our comic books into a movie between Play It Again or Deathless, what do you think would be the better choice? What would you like to see?
And both isn't an option. Okay, so I feel like I would want to see Play It Again as a movie, but I would want to see Deathless as like a mini series.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like Play It Again is the better one-shot movie.
I think that's the best answer for sure.
Deathless is one of those that could either easily be like a 1 or 2 season mini series.
Oh yeah.
Or they could just milk us dry like they did with what's his face with The Walking Dead. Robert
Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman.
Yeah. I totally agree with Tina though. Like I think that's the best case. I would love to see Play It Again as like a musical, as like an actual like musical movie, like a film. Like
this is a song I never thought I would write on the day I'm dying.
Oh God, I would love that. I would like.
So let me ask you though, Anthony. If Play It Again were to become a movie,
yeah,
who would you choose
Who would play me and
To
Steven?
play you.
Well, if it was 10 years ago, it'd be Jay Baruchel, right? I mean, that's the joke.
Right. That's fair. That would be, yeah. Who who would play me? Probably like I'd want it to be someone like an Adam Brody type, like someone who's like a better looking version of of me. That's what I'm going for. I'm like, I want someone like that.
Can I please have Guy Fieri play me just so he can say stuff like "that's gangster" and "welcome to Flavortown"?
Yeah, it's just me. It's just Anthony. Why did you write that in your own script? Steven demanded Guy Fieri. Like I don't like Guy Fieri. Like he's in the movie. He's
like you literally like show up at the Halloween scene. I just pull up in a car today on Tiger's Drive-ins and Dives. Like it's just like Guy Fieri. Oh, that's money right there.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the right answer. I think that's the perfect answer.
Jess, the awesome Jess, asks, would you let Anthony brush your hair? Also, do you let your daughters do your hair? Mine does, and it's fucking torture. So would I let Anthony brush my hair? I mean, if that's what he wanted to do, like if he wanted to groom me,
it's gonna hurt me if you said no. Like,
there's no way I would let him. Yeah. So, and then, as far as my daughters are concerned, I've let them, but legit, like Cambria brushed my hair one time, and like those two are the most sensitive when you go to brush their hair. Like I'm like so careful grabbing like an inch at a time and getting the snarls out on my way up. They fucking put it right here at my bangs and just yank. And I'm like, what are you doing? And like, yeah, they're the worst. And then when they go to put my hair in hair ties, it's all horrible. So yes, they're horrible hairstylists when they do it to other people. They're super careful on themselves though. So
he lets them do his hair
often. I do.
Yeah.
I deal with the pain, but all right. And then Lee Newman, our good friend Lee, writes, and this is a good question. Because like everyone, whenever someone's asked what's your favorite Disney movie, all of us millennials just go straight to the 90s and pluck out one of the amazing like movies from that era. But what's your favorite pre-Little Mermaid Disney movie?
Robin Hood.
Snow
White, both solid. And dude, that's where I was at. I was at either like the Black Cauldron, or like Sword in the Stone or Robin Hood.
I went Sword in the Stone or Robin Hood. I wasn't sure, but like I'm going with Robin Hood. It's cuter. I love Sword in the Stone, especially like the whole squirrel scene and the battle scene. Those two are really solid for me.
That era, I feel like that era, like the medieval era or whatever, was really awesome too. Yeah. Like so yeah, I mean obviously the 90s have so many good ones, but yeah. I would say Rob, any of those three. I mean, you guys didn't say Black Cauldron, so I'll be the.
I've never seen Black Cauldron. I didn't watch that.
It's cool. It's medievally. Yeah. It's magic, monsters.
I've never seen. I should watch it. Just watch it with that list and see. A lot of those movies are like a little slower plot wise than movies have become in recent years.
Because the animation was hard, so they're like, we're talking a lot is what we're gonna do,
dude. Yeah, it's crazy when you think about that stuff. Like we've been watching Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball, and like all of the pervy stuff aside. Like by the way, so much pervy stuff. It's insane. Like
it's crazy, like the cultural differences when it comes to that too.
Dude, like the fact that they're just like they're constantly just lingering on Bulma's body on purpose, and they know it. It's not even like they're not like, oh look, they're subtly like looking at like her shape or whatever. Like no, she's like in the shower and a character comes up and it's like whoa, and it's just like everyone's always looking at her underwear. Everyone's always like Master Roshi is just all about her all the time, and it's like oh my god.
One thing I gotta say about Master Roshi is, dude stays consistent through the entire series. Like that's a running gag. They like whenever he's fighting or he's talking to a woman, he's Mr. Old Man Pervy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And like I didn't know, like I'd never really watched the original Dragon Ball. I've seen Dragon Ball Z, and like even then I've seen like the chunks of sagas, or just like I've seen like the Frieza saga. I've seen, like I've gone through them, but I haven't seen all of it. So it was like the character consistency stuff wasn't in my mind, and then when I watched this, I was like, holy crap. But the reason I brought it up was like, it was from like when did it come out? Like 86 to 89 or something was like the first season of it. Like so it's like think about that. That was in the 80s, right? And like, but so much of the animation is like stills with like slow camera movement, which is just like a big still that they zoomed in on and just like slowly move.
And then the camera pan with maybe some blinking with the eyes or something.
And like I mean, like we watched an episode today where it was like literally like Goku sitting there like with like a spoon, like he was gonna eat, and he wasn't moving his mouth at all, but he's just talking the whole time. We're just like, I don't know what like this is hilarious, but like most of it's really good. I do think they were so creative to create characters that are so fast that you can't see them move. So you just see a character here and then a character here. It's like, what? Okay, just very quick.
Genius.
My favorite thing that has happened in that show so far, though, in Dragon Ball, is they were in a tournament, and it was Krillin versus Master Yoshi, who was playing, like, he was pretending he was some other guy at the time, but it was like Krillin versus Master Yoshi.
Jackie Chun, right?
Jackie Chun, yeah. And my favorite thing that happened in this whole series so far is in that scene, they do the thing where they're on either side, and then they just kind of switch. And they're like, whoa, they move so fast, we didn't see them. And then they go, oh, let us explain to you what just happened. And then they just slowly talk through what just happened when they were in slow-mo. And they did rock, paper, scissors and everything. It was just
that's awesome.
I was like, that is such a funny joke. Like, it was such a good,
like it's a meta joke. Like just
yeah, it was like, it works so well. And like, I was cracking up, like, especially like a lot of the jokes in that are just really cheesy, really pervy. You know, I was like, all right, it's fun. I think the adventure stuff is so cool in that show, and I don't get why they were like, oh, we have to look at these boobs.
Just shove that in there.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to the whole part where Goku discovers that boys and girls have different situations?
No, not yet.
That's funny. That's a pretty great scene.
I have to see it. But anyway, I brought that up because like the animation has evolved so much over time. Like now you can create your own like little like basically flash like animated filter of a character and just like talk into the camera, and it animates in real time. It's nuts.
Well, I mean, dude, like if you watch, like you should watch the whole series in a row or whatever you're gonna do, and then you should watch the most recent movie, Dragon Ball Superhero. And like, dude, they're straight using like 3D gen anime. I mean, it's just insane now, like rotating characters and everything. It's insane. They've come so far for sure.
So what's our next question?
I think that was it from me.
Oh, that was it.
Oh no, there was a new thread I started tonight for Jeff, because Jeff Schiller is still pushing for Magic Powder, which please go back Magic Powder number 4. You still have some time left by the time this episode airs and everything.
You have a couple of days at least. So please, if you haven't backed them, they're very close. There's something like 90% funded at this point. They need very little more money. So just go back our friend Jeff. His book is amazing.
So Jeff Schiller asks, how long would it take Anthony to grow his hair out as long as yours?
Ooh, I don't know if it could. Like, I am slowly like balding here. Like, I don't.
I'm not balding.
You're not. I think, and you cut your hair pretty often. I would say
your hair grows pretty fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like, I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there. I know there are for a fact, because I've like every once in a while I get insecure, and when I get like stressed out, my hair thins a little more, and I'm just like, oh, and I start Googling, and I see that like, you know, like when I'm under certain light or like super strong lights and stuff, I'm like, oh, I can see my scalp. This is what I'm gonna look like. I'm bald now, you know, and like it's
just your texture.
Yeah,
your texture is just finer. That's all.
Well, you should see me with Tina, like me. I'm like, babe, I'm balding. Like I'm looking at my hairline. I'm like, it's thin. I don't have any hair. She's like, you're crazy. Like,
so I never know. So like, I think my fear is I never know when it's just like general stress or like aging and like male pattern like, you know, baldness, where it's just like, you know,
you're not balding.
If I want to let you know something. If you grew your hair out this long, you would be so much more afraid that you're balding. Because like, dude, when I wash my hair, the amount of hair that comes off of my head because of tangles and things like that is, I mean, you have to like flick it. I know, by the way, ladies, I know why you flick your hair into the walls of showers and stuff. There's no other way to get it off your hand. Like, I'm literally like this, I'm pulling it gets on the other hand. So that's why you guys do that crazy whip into the wall, because it's the only fucking way to get the hair off your fucking fingers.
I'm more of a smear.
Just make sure
smear it on there.
But it all makes sense now. But yes, I have so many strands that come out.
I'll tell you though, like when my hair does start getting longer, I do notice more like where it's not growing as long. You know what I mean? Like the difference of like, oh, it grows like faster here and faster here. Like, it's weird. And I'm just like, I think that's kind of what stresses me out more. I'm like, oh, it's thinner here, and I can see my scalp in this spot, in this area, and I don't love it. And, you know, so I start panicking about that stuff. But I've never tried to grow out my hair long. I'm sure it would take a long time. Like, Steven, how long was like
this
awkward part?
So the awkward part for me, This is what happened to me is I had long hair. I had probably like chin length hair, and that chin length hair, probably I grew that in like a year, less than a year.
Yeah.
But I was undercutting it. So, all of this was buzzed. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grow that out. So I would start bunning the top, and I was growing out the first few weeks or months, it was fine because it was just growing out. But then eventually got to that point where I had 2-inch long hairs here and 7-inch long, and it looked so stupid. It was
awkward. He went through a little bit of an awkward
like a full year of an awkward phase. But see, you wouldn't have as awkward of a phase because your entire head would grow out at the same time, where I was growing 2 separate lengths at the same time. But I mean, all in all, like as long as it is now with haircuts and everything, I've literally been growing my hair out since 2017. So
yeah, wow.
I mean, you got to figure. I was doing different styles with it and stuff. Like at my wedding, for example, I had like kind of like the shave with like the slick back. I had a few different styles leading up to it, but it's been like a 6-year process, 5-year process for sure.
I did like your hair like that.
It was pretty cool.
It looked cool.
I'll never cut my hair again. I'm Claudio now, basically.
Steven and Tina, I want you both to answer. Actually, we should let Tina answer first because she's our guest, and I think her answer would be fun. Steven, we're going to do a quick monster test. Let's do a monster test.
It's the monster test where we put our limits to the test with monsters test. Yeah, because it's the theme song that we always sing for monster test. Monster test.
Monster test, trademark of We Have Issues podcast. So every couple weeks, every once in a while, we get together and we try to, we have segments on our show. We're a segment-based show. We talk about our life, we talk about our comics, and then we do some interesting segments. This one, usually what we do is we break down a monster, some kind of creature, some supernatural element, a cryptid, something from movies, fiction, what have you. This time, we have a question from one of my favorite friends on Twitter, Kayla. Kayla asks, she wants to know, and Tina, I'm gonna aim this at you first. Like we're gonna give this to you. All the pressure is going right to you. No. But so Kayla wants to know if Steven and I were to be forced to fight a horror movie monster of some sort in some way, all right? Which one do you think we could take? Okay. Now I'm gonna before you answer right away, I'm gonna say let's go 2 rounds with this. Okay. Round number 1 is gonna be bare knuckles in a coliseum situation. It's Steven and I standing there, and then whatever the creature is or monster is on the other side, right? And we have to fight him. That's round
now
1.
Just to clarify, it's 2v1 in both scenarios.
2v1
right?
in both scenarios, 100%. Yes. So round 1 is Coliseum. Okay, who could we take in Coliseum? Round 2 is if you drop Steven and I in that monster's movie, who would we? How would we survive if we would survive?
I'm following.
Okay.
Steven seems pretty convinced that he could take a wolf.
I could one-on-one.
So I feel confident.
Definitely a coyote. Possibly a pack.
I feel like the 2 of you combined could definitely take a werewolf.
Excuse me.
Like you would be severely disfigured following.
We would be werewolves by the time it was over.
That's what I was gonna say. So I was gonna say what I imagine is,
but you would prevail.
We would, yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna say I'll die trying my best to help Steven and take out this freaking werewolf, just sacrificing myself and doing it. I think Steven would get bit in the meantime, turning into a werewolf, maybe fighting as a werewolf. Maybe
I would treat him like Oz. I would lock you in a cage and
it just depends on it just depends on if killing the initial wolf cures your werewolfism or not. If it does, then who cares? Get bit by that wolf as we're taking it out. It's fine. We're gonna it can bite us and we're just human again, lame, but okay, we'll take it. But I imagine you can't put people in a Coliseum situation with a creature and not give them access to the thing that could potentially kill the creature. So I'm assuming in that situation we'd have spears, something that would be silver based, even if it's a dagger or something, something like that, because it's just otherwise it's not fair if it's invincible. But yeah, I'm with you. Depending on the werewolf, we could you and I could definitely take the American Werewolf and London Werewolf.
Oh yeah, that dude was that dude's going down.
Yeah, he's going down. There's no chance.
He was really just a man-sized wolf. I mean, he really was.
That's my choice for the movie I drop you in.
American Werewolf in London. Yep. Well, to answer your question, homeboy is done, son. You see how long it took him to transform? I would just kill him mid-transformation. Oh,
nope. Go to sleep.
Yeah. Just
but Steven, what do you
just do that, like where you pull him in?
Just shake him. Just over shakes. Oh my god. Steven, okay, what do you think? Like what
in a Coliseum, I think together, because they're super strong, but I think we could outsmart it. I think we could take a Minotaur.
Okay. Ooh, good one.
I think we could take a Minotaur. I really do. It would be scary.
Yeah, it would be scary. I mean, I imagine when I think of Minotaur, I think of like a much larger, like almost 9 foot tall, like an 8 foot tall dude, like giant, like
stonky,
like stocky, you know, kind of like what I imagine The Rock would be like if he were, you know, like 9 feet tall, but then with a giant bull head, right? Like that's
yeah, basically. But I feel like we could outsmart it, and there's 2 of us versus 1 of it. Assuming it, I mean, I guess the Minotaur typically has like a mace, right? Like a 2-handed mace weapon or some sort, like a hammer. They usually use they use like a big ass hammer, I think.
Oh, okay, very cool. Yeah,
which is a very slow weapon. So I mean, if he hits us, we die. But
yes, but not to mention, like, between the 2 of us distracting him, using what we can, and like Jackie Channing the situation and trying to, you know, use our, you know, the elements. I think we can get him to lose that thing and probably use it against him.
Here's what I'm imagining. I'm wearing a red shirt. I become the flag that he's chasing.
Perfect.
Move out of the way when he bull charges. His horns get stuck in the stone wall, and then
of course they do.
Just that's exactly.
I love the idea that, like, no matter the monster,
it's just gonna stab his rib cage over and over again.
I'll tell you, I know for a fact, because now I am an expert on Jason Voorhees. I know for a fact we could survive Jason Voorhees, the 2 of us. Like, we would.
The golden rule: don't try to box Jason Voorhees. That's, no, I mean,
there's so many.
Believe it or not, the most effective way to kill Jason Voorhees.
Okay, so now hear us out. If you have the right knife,
just start stabbing.
Okay, so hear me out.
It would go so wrong with that.
No, okay, so there's.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not. No, but you're not wrong is the thing, dude. So of all movies, like all horror movies, all movies create laws and rules within the movie. You know, you have to follow some sort of consistent order of movies. You know, like we all know the rules of Gremlins. We all know the rules of vampires. Sometimes they switch a little bit, you know, shift a little as they go. Jason Voorhees rules, though, super inconsistent, completely crazy, with a few exceptions, right? But there was one movie, right? Jason Goes to Hell came out. And the funniest thing happens, dude. Okay, so they do this thing in that movie where they literally, mind you, it's like number 8. I'm trying to remember, what was it? It's number 8 or 9. All right, Jason Goes to Hell is like number 8 or 9. Okay, think about this. They got that far in the series. Like, imagine getting to like number 8, and then this is what they do. They introduce a new character who has never existed before, who knows a bunch of rules about Jason that never existed before. He's like, you know, only a Voorhees can kill a Voorhees. I'm like, that's not a thing. It's never happened. Like, no one's ever said that before. How do you know that? Who are you? Where did you come from? And then he's like, Jason gets exploded by the FBI, and his heart is beating, and this coroner picks it up, and he's like, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna eat this heart. Why? Jason has a delicious heart. That's a thing that they came up with in this movie out of nowhere. That's like, if you see it, it's like a bug light for your teeth. Like, you need to put it in your face. And like, but just like, what a weird. However, the reason I'm bringing this up is what we could do, Steven. What we could do is only a Voorhees can kill a Voorhees. We're going to the courthouse. Actually, no. We'll go. I'm gonna write Anthony Voorhees, Stephen Voorhees. We're changing our names legally changing our names. We'll get someone to notarize it. I happen to know a notary, and we'll go.
We just go to like near Camp Crystal Lake, and we're just like, man, crazy that we've been his cousins this whole time. And they're like, oh, you're Jason's cousins? Yeah, we're cousins. And we get all the townsfolk to believe it too. And then
I mean, my fear, Steven, though, is between the two of us, like, I don't think Jason would kill us. Like, I don't think, like, I think that's our problem with Jason is I don't think he'd want to kill us. Like, having watched all of these movies now, he seems to only kill people who were either involved in his death, around when he died during, like as counselors.
Didn't save him, yeah.
And didn't save him. Or terrible people, or people who are doing terrible things, or things that he perceives as terrible things. You're just like a dude and you're married and like you don't do anything bad. Like, like I can't imagine Jason's just like, here I am murdering you. Like, it's not gonna happen. I think we're okay.
I know you don't know this about me, but in the summer of '85, I was actually a counselor at Camp Crystal Lake, and
I've never been more upset that you haven't shared this with me, because I want one of those shirts. Like, I want a Camp Crystal Lake shirt.
I actually have a few. I pushed him. I was the one that pushed him in. So I'm target numero uno as far as Jason is concerned.
All right, so here's what we do, Steven. We change.
I ruined his life.
We changed our names. I ruined his life. It was me. It was specific. I pulled him into pee, and I blamed
Anthony. I want you to. I want him to know that it was me.
All right, Steven. So what we do is we change our names. We get the fancy knife. By the way, this also happens. I'm just gonna real quick. In Jason Goes to Hell, this woman, someone throws a knife to her, and when she grabs it, it turns into a different dagger. It turns into like a fancy magic Jason killing dagger because she's a Voorhees. So what I imagine is we change our names, grab any kitchen knife. It's now a fancy magic supernatural Jason killing knife. We whisper that you're the one who did this to him into his ear, and we just like get together.
I want you to know that. I was gentle. That's what. That's where your ribs are.
Boo punch, Stephen Cheese. All right, let's see.
Well, from where I'm sitting in my giant figure, where else am I supposed to look at me? Where am I supposed to stab?
Look at me. Look at
your
me.
Arm.
I'm a Voorhees.
It's not convincing. You have to be in pain. No, I'm just kidding.
So that was our monster test segment for the day. I'm pretty sure we would take out Jason, take out a Minotaur, and definitely I feel like we'd also take it. There are a lot we'd take out. There are a lot. I'm just like, I think we could do it. I think we could take out the werewolf. I think between Steven and I, we should have an anthology of monster stories where it's just us. Like, we're going to do Stakeout at some point. We're going to make this movie, and it's going to be our first, like,
dude, just call it Anthony and Steven Take on the Monsterverse or something like that. We just go through every creature.
Yeah. Why would
just turn monster, like monster test your metal, basically, and like we just Goliath fight through gladiator
it would be
fight.
Pretty funny to just like throw us into. That's like the only good thing about the AI, and the AI apocalypse that's happening right now.
It's gonna suck, but it's also like people like us are just gonna be able to create fun stuff in a couple years really quickly.
It's gonna be because it's stuff that like doesn't have to exist, but would be fun to exist. And like,
like that stuff where it's like, hey, this is just a quick inside joke. You can just make those quick inside jokes.
Make those. But I mean, of course, that's not how it's going to be used. It's going to like snowball, and people are going to suck, and it's going to be hard to navigate. And but those jokes are going to be so much fun.
Those are so awesome.
So every week, we also talk about what we're going to do this week, Steven. We're trying to make a comic book. We only have a couple of months left, technically, to try to get this book out to people. Obviously, we're going to have to send it off to printing, and that's always understandable. But I want to get it out, in time at least. Like, get it, off to printing. How do you think we're doing so far?
So I keep thinking I'm a page behind, but I think I just did page 13, if I'm not mistaken. So we're actually we're getting to the climax of this issue. So we're obviously, and we really are. I'm gonna see if I'm worried to bring my iPad to Atlanta this weekend, but I was thinking about doing it because we probably will have some like before and after time, like in the but I might not. But if not, I'm still gonna get stuff done this week anyway. I already got page 13 done. And most of the rest are actually pretty forgiving pages. They're like 4 or 5 panel pages.
Yeah, I literally like after like, especially after like the big action sequences and all this crazy stuff, I was like, oh, I better write some things that are a little easier for Steven to draw. Because I started feeling so guilty. I was just like, okay, well, that one had 6 panels, and that one had 6 panels, and that one had 5 very difficult panels. Steven's gonna hate my guts. I better,
But you see what I've been doing too with these action sequences, I feel like I feel like I've established where they're at pretty well. So now I'm kind of doing a little bit more gradients and stuff like that. Like, then they're cool looking textures, but like it's focusing on the figures fighting. So like less and less background. But then like once they start talking again, of course I'll draw backgrounds and stuff. But I think page 13 is pretty cool. And I love the way the panels like read. Like the fight sequence does feel like it's like a back and forth like brawl. And then Douglas wakes back up. But anyways, not to spoil.
It's pretty epic, dude. I'm going to try to color 2 pages this week. I'm trying to get it done. Like I'm trying, like especially now that Atlas is feeling better and I'm at the end of my stupid cough and stuff. And like I'm actually gonna get to work. Tina, what are you doing this week?
Hanging out, playing Nintendo.
All right, so that's what we're doing this week. Remember to go and back Jeff Schiller's book, Magic Powder. All the links are below. And also to hit subscribe while you're here if you're hanging out. But thank you. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're only listening to one of the various podcasting apps, thank you. And thank you, JD, for reminding me almost every week. JD freaking missed one. He missed last week. I got it.
Oh, JD, producer JD.
By myself. I was abandoned by my best, like my confidant. Like I trust him, my most trusted advisor, Steven. No, I'm kidding. He was amazing. But thank you for doing that, JD. But please go to youtube.com/wehaveissues podcast and check us out. If you're already here, hit subscribe and like us and hit the like button and tell all your friends.
I love you. You're amazing. You're great. Keep supporting us. It's so wonderful. Like our episodes have been getting so many awesome views from you wonderful people. Like most episodes have 100 or more views within the first day or so. So like that's just wonderful. It means that there's like at least 100 of you out there that just like really want to see us like succeed and win. So we appreciate you very much. This is my amazing wife, Tina. If you haven't met her before, she's awesome. Albeit tiny. She's like 5 foot and I'm like a giant.
I'm 5'1". Okay.
Come on, Steven. Show some respect. Jeez.
Put some respect on that 1 inch. So 1 inch is a lot.
1 inch
is a lot. It's a lot.
I love where this is going.
Anyways. But yes, I love you guys so very much.
Me too.
Okay. Thank you guys. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
I'm Tina Be Awesome.
And this has been We Have Issues. See you next week.
Boom!
Oh, you scared me.
That's what I do every episode. It's like cut.
Oh my god! Hey Tina.
Now it should work. Now we should have. Do we have a microphone now?
I can hear Tina. I can't hear you.
Hold on.
You can hear me.
Okay, one thing I want to ask, can I get like one picture or like can Tina go in like the middle of the frame so I can do it for like the
Yep.
What do you want me to do?
Go over. Do something with your like this. Do some
hold on. Let me take this out real quick. What kind of pose? Like
not that. Oh, he hates that. Whatever you're doing right now, he hates. He's like talking about how much he hates it. He fucking hates it. Look at him. He fucking hates it. No, I was kidding. Oh, that's a good one. The thinker. I always do the thinker.
Those are good.